Huawei have now their 9th iteration of their ultra-popular fitness tracker series. Is Band 9 the kind of upgrade you're looking for, and does it have all that it takes to be the best of 2024? Let's inspect. Right, let's start with a few disclaimers. And by the way, great to meet you if we see each other for the first time. I'm the TechMishka. On the channel we inspect a lot of cool and interesting tech. And last year, I took the decision to not review any Huawei-made smartwatches because of various reasons, with one tiny exception. Probably this year, this is gotta be the tiny exception. Huawei Band 9, their freshly released fitness tracker. And since the priority of the channel has always been to review great value products and try to stay away from politics as much as possible, not very easy to keep the balance all the time, I feel that this would be a perfect match for the kind of content I do over here on the channel. And how does it rank against the Galaxy Fit series, against Xiaomi Smart Band series and similar? I'll probably tell you more in a corresponding comparison review. And this episode is going to be about exposing all the strong and the weak sides and thoroughly reviewing the Huawei Band 9. Let's jump into it. Positive fact number 1 is the price. It's launched at around $60. Of course, this kind of depends on the region. You also can grab the Chinese edition from most of the big stores, and this is going to cost you less than that. In the USA, given the quite complicated state of Huawei as a brand, it may cost you a lot more. And funny enough, on Amazon, the series is called Watch Band. I kind of agree to that. Fitness trackers are already quite close to some smartwatches in terms of design and functions. Closest rivals, at least in terms of price, are the Galaxy Fit and Xiaomi Smart Band series, while Garmin and Fitbit and their products, although offering similar, in some cases somewhat less features, will ask you to pay significantly higher price. The unboxing experience reveals a well-designed pack, somewhat modest and not that much different to last year's styling. Here's the band, feels very lightweight, has a strap with a buckle. Maybe this change of the strap design is kind of mimicking Xiaomi because they use the buttoning instead of a free loop, whereas Xiaomi rely on it to keep their band around your wrist. Well played, Huawei. What is quite different this time is the pretty flat bottom area, something I can't recall seeing with other watches anytime soon, and I do like this design. This is indeed the area where most of the health tracking sensors are situated. Huawei still keep their physical button, and I have to admit, to me, this is among the most valuable features. The display is large, bright with somewhat curved edges and aesthetically sort of excellent. If we take a closer look at the spec sheet, there's the 1.47-inch AMOLED display with always-on option, optical heart rate sensor, 9-axis IMU, ambient light sensor, 180 mAh battery, 5 ATM water resistant, an optical heart rate sensor, only 14 grams lightweight, and is controlled via the Huawei Health smartphone app. I'm really excited about the technical specifications because it's true, if we read them quickly, there's nothing too impressive, but I feel that for the first time in years, we have some actual good upgrades and innovations, because if we read thoroughly, we're going to discover that inside we have a 9-axis IMU implementation for the first time with the series, meaning that the pedometer and the workout tracking should be a lot more precise, probably over time, because as soon as we have a new implementation, it means that it's gonna take a while until firmware updates are properly tuning it. But this body here relies on a 3-axis gyroscope, a 3-axis accelerometer, and a 3-axis magnetometer, as opposed to the competition where they mostly rely on a 6-axis IMU. Also, the strap is pretty exciting. It's made of material called fluoroelastomer, which is meant to be a lot more resistant to temperature deviations and chemicals, and is, of course, obviously more elastic, and it feels pretty good when in contact with the skin. It's really impressive that Huawei managed to keep the very same kind of body, the very same kind of battery capacity, and still reduce the weight from 18 to just 14 grams. But I feel that really the big news is about this display because we finally have an implementation of an ambient light sensor, which means that you can rely on auto brightness all the time. And also they promise a lot of software improvements, and how far they managed to get with these software improvements, let's take a closer look now. The setup and the pairing to your phone is for sure nice and easy. Since Huawei Health is no longer updated on Google Play Store, if you have an Android smartphone, you have to download it from Huawei's website, and I appreciate it that Huawei don't force you to get their App Store installed. You can freely download Huawei Health without any strings attached. Getting used to the menus is quite easy, and if you've ever had a Huawei watch or a tracker, it feels like home. Swiping left or right are gonna guide you through the cards. Interestingly, they're not supporting infinite scrolling. By default, the only card by swiping right is the weather and playback widget, and swiping left gives most of your health stats, and this time Huawei make it look a lot more compact, just as it is with Xiaomi's latest trackers. I did enjoy their alignment and app controls better, though. You can swipe down for the quick toggles. They are not adjustable, at least not yet, and I can't find a shortcut to disable the raise wrist to wake the screen gesture. It looks like at the moment I'm reviewing it, the Huawei Health app is the only way to disable the feature. There's a brand new activity ring area, and this time Huawei even explained to you about its details and the way it presents your daily stats. This time around, Huawei asked a lot about your permissions. I felt well informed about the kind of data collected at each and every step of the menu walkthrough. Concerning the track data, the pedometer is excellent, the heart rate sensor is good. You can see how it handles various events, and you can see that side by side with the Polar H10 chest-mounted tracker, the results are kinda close. Don't forget that measuring pulse on the wrist can never be as good as measuring it close to your heart. You can count on blood oxygen saturation data, stress level collections, and similar. Sleep data is traditionally a strong side for Huawei trackers, and while night sleep records are a spot on and in my opinion fairly accurate, the band failed to detect my first 30-minute sweet afternoon nap in months. But given the overall consistent records, I probably can forget this. A firmware patch should fix it anyway. If you want to get Huawei Band 9 for doing sports, then I feel this won't be its greatest strength. The grouping of sports is not that intuitive, and adding an extra workout is sort of challenging. I mean, finding the type of sport that you're looking for in this list is close to mission impossible for impatient people. Don't forget that there is no GPS inbuilt, so for more detailed records, you're gonna have to rely on your smartphone's GPS signal. Among the remaining apps to take a look at, there finally is a calendar feature. There are a few productivity tools, such as timers, alarms, and so on. You can read and you can respond to notifications via predefined answers. However, the config for access to notifications is somewhat strange because most of the apps are sorted in alphabetical order, but Huawei bring on top a few, I guess, such that are meant to be popular. And since I'm already showcasing the smartphone app, it is the good old Huawei Health, which keeps this kind of design since a lot of years already, and I really like the structure. Most health parameters are shown on the homepage via cards with a lot of details and recommendations. You're gonna probably enjoy reviewing the sleep tracking or the heart rate data and their details. There's an exercise tile with options to trigger a workout from within the phone, which will automatically launch it on Huawei Band 9 as well. The Discover section shows connections to some third-party services, which you can enable or configure from the Me area under Privacy Management. And inside Device Settings, it's about configuring the bands and accessing the watch face market. Some of the great watch faces are unfortunately paid, but Huawei still keep the free section active, and you're going to get a lot of good ones there as well. I feel that lately, Xiaomi and Samsung seem to offer slightly better and functional watch faces, but you will definitely find enough that are quite nice over here. If you care about battery life and charging, results are very promising. Huawei say 3 days with AOD, but I easily get 4 days each and every time because AOD is not active while I'm sleeping. For these mentioned achievements, I've been tracking everything and was even practicing some sports. It's the first time in a while where real-life performance is actually better than what marketing promises state. If you don't use AOD and are balanced about health tracking, then up to 2 weeks per charge are kind of a realistic expectation. And charging the battery back to full happens fairly quickly. If we can now talk about the things that could be better, while the display comes with some sort of tempered glass, a sapphire coating could have been a great choice because the bezels don't really protect the surface. The new IMU sensor setup is still not tuned to perfection, and probably for some sports, accuracy is not quite there yet, something I expect to be fixed with firmware updates. I have my remarks about some of the software imperfections, and the fact that the Huawei Health app still can't make its way to Google Play Store in terms of updates. It's conclusion time now, isn't it? Time to discuss how good or bad this body is, and in my opinion, this is the fitness tracker to beat in 2024. I still can't say it's the best in its class yet, because of certain tuning that I feel that they have to do with the new implementation of the sensor, because for some of the workouts there have been deviations, probably not as accurate as Band 8 yet, but I'm pretty sure that this new, more precise unit is going to be better tuned over time. The rest, I mean, the display implementation, the hardware, the overall user experience, the smartphone app, it's a spot on, and Huawei once again prove that they can make some of the best fitness tracking devices out there. And I need to underline that this is my own purchase and I have zero communication with Huawei's marketing departments or whatsoever. This is simply a very decent addition. Well, it's true, I do miss implementation of a GPS, and probably we will never see a Pro version of the series, just because if we do, that's gonna compete with the Huawei Watch Fit series and maybe some of the other portfolio members. But even as it is, that's a very easy to recommend fitness tracker. At least this is my opinion, and I'm eager to hear about yours in the comment section down below the video. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more cool tech inspections, and if you wanna get your Huawei Band 9, check the video description for more information. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I'm the TechMishka. Wish you a fantastic day, live a healthy life, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!